Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and TechAdvice.life video interview. I'm here today with Luiz Mariotto. He's Rimini Street's Global Vice President for SAP Support. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Alex. It's my pleasure to be with you and Tech Advice Live viewers and readers.
Thank you for taking the time to join me. Now, I'm sure that many people watching may not be aware of Rimini Street, and perhaps for those who need a refresher, can you please give us a recap on what Rimini Street do, and also perhaps why more people need to know about third-party support services for the ERP systems like Oracle and SAP?
Sure. Well, Rimini Street was founded in Las Vegas back in 2005 with the mission to redefine the enterprise software support market. We replace the traditional support provided by software vendors like SAP and Oracle, but we offer a very different model that we expect to bring benefits to clients. So, for example, we support, in addition to the standard code, we also support customizations, configurations, performance. We have a better service level, providing 10 minutes response time for clients. We also don't force clients to do upgrades just to keep supported, right? Because if you are with the vendor, you need to keep upgrading the software all the time just to keep support. So we don't force clients doing that. And of course, we provide significantly cost reduction for clients. So, Alex, we are proud to have created a new IT service category, right, in the market. So some analysts, they call third-party support. So we started supporting Oracle and SAP software. Over the years, we included the other softwares like IBM, Microsoft, Tibico. More recently, we announced the support to VMware. So we are adding more and more products in our portfolio. In addition to that, I can say that during these almost 20 years in the market, we have supported more than 5,000 clients in 150 countries. We expanded our service from product support to application management, consulting. So we include support to cloud applications like Salesforce, SuccessFactors, and Ariba. So that's pretty much what the Rimini Street is doing. Rimini Street is doing in the market.
And look, consumers who are watching would know that people get their phones repaired at third-party vendors all the time. And in fact, some of those vendors have tried to lock people in, and we've had the right to repair legislation in various parts of the state. So it's very good to have choice. I mean,
exactly. So most of the other markets, industries has this third-party concept, right? But why not to have in the enterprise software support? That's what we did 20 years ago when we redefined this new category.
Sure. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, what is your personal experience in the SAP space that enables you to understand the issue very deeply?
Well, I started working for SAP in '97 after 10 years working for other IT companies. And I stayed working for SAP for more than 15 years. So I saw, right, all the ERP boom later when SAP introduced the HANA DB launch and followed by all the cloud companies acquisitions, right? That SAP acquired the Ariba, SuccessFactors, Concur, and so many other companies. So I can say that I'm very familiar with SAP products and roadmaps from the SAP side. So now working for Rimini Street for about 9 years, leading the SAP business here, I can compare different approach and perspectives, right, on strategies about SAP support and roadmaps.
Now, one of the big issues facing companies using the SAP ERP Central Component or SAP ECC platform on-prem is that some will lose support next year and others in 2027. And for some, this is a big dilemma. So tell us why that is the case.
Well, SAP has launched the S/4HANA product in 2015 as a replacement core ERP product for its flagship product, the SAP ERP ECC, right? And since then, they are trying to convince their installed base to upgrade from ECC to S/4HANA. But according to Gartner, even after 9 years since the launch of the S/4HANA, 64% of the ECC clients, which means two-thirds of the installed base, has not adopted S/4HANA yet. Uh, when I talk with the clients, the main reasons, first, they lack the business case, right? So they don't have a business reason to replace the ERP that they have invested heavily in customizations to adapt it to their specific business process, right? Number two, maybe they cannot afford the costs and risks, right, associated with these major upgrades. So that's been a big dilemma for clients, and SAP changed the end of the support already. So initially it was 2025. So later they moved to 2027. But that's the fact. The majority of the S/4HANA clients are still considering what they're gonna do, right? And the ECC clients are still planning for a future upgrade. But there is this pressure, right? In 2021, SAP has launched the RISE, which is a new offering bundling the S/4HANA cloud product with the license and with the infrastructure all together. And now they are changing the game again because they want to convince the clients, instead of moving to S/4HANA on-premise, all the clients should move to the new version with this cloud version, right? They are doubling down. They are doubling the bet on that. So they are saying now that the future innovations, right, like AI, for example, Green Ledger, for example, will only be available on the S/4HANA cloud version. So, but what happens with all those clients that are running S/4HANA already, right? So they followed the SAP recommendation, upgrading to the latest version, and now they have a support deadline. So I think some clients are not happy with these changes in the roadmap, and they are looking for alternatives.
Yeah. Well, we also have the issue of cloud costs ballooning and growing in size, and some people just don't want to do that, or they want to have a hybrid environment where some stuff is on-prem and some stuff is in the cloud. But it sounds like SAP wants to push everybody to the cloud.
Yeah, but for some clients, I understand it makes sense because they want to shift the control from their infrastructure to the vendor, but it doesn't fit it for every company. That we met very complex companies with operations in several countries, so the move to the cloud is not that simple, right, decision. They can adopt the cloud applications like CRM and HR and payroll, but moving the core ERP, the mission critical system, right, is a decision that you need to make a lot of consideration, right, in the investments, in the model, in the relationship with the vendor. It's not that easy for everybody, right? So that's why we think clients are looking for alternatives.
So we know that Rimini Street offers third-party support services to SAP customers, but how does Rimini Street provide a solution taking into account the customizations you mentioned before? And do your services also enable the ability to access those innovations like AI now or in the future?
Well, how much of your reality is AI through each vendor's interpretation, and how this align with the enterprise overall business strategy, right? Just as business processes are broader than any software package, we believe AI is broader than any single vendor can deliver. So what we are discussing with our clients and encouraging, especially the C-level leaders, to take a more holistic approach, right? So clients are sitting on a gold mine of data. All the data, right, are clients' data. So they don't need to necessarily following what SAP is proposing them about the AI and AI functionalities, right? So there are some great tools. Clients can keep their core ERP and innovate around the edges, adopting some of these great AI platforms. Examples like Google, for example, Microsoft, or even open source is also good options here. So I think if you can get started now, instead of waiting for what SAP will deliver for you in the future, instead of spending millions on upgrades and replatform, considering all these alternatives to embrace AI projects and use cases. So you can do this right now. You don't need to wait for a migration to the latest SAP Rise or SAP Cloud products.
And just on those AI solutions, does the Rimini Street platform allow you to pick and choose from different AI solutions so that you can choose whichever one you think is the best for your company?
Yeah. So our approach, we are having a more agnostic approach, right? So we have our Rimini consulting team. So we created a center of excellence, providing focusing on innovation, especially on emerging technologies like cloud, data management, AI integration. And our mission is to help our clients to figure out what is the best alternative for them, consider their specific roadmap, their specific industry, right? Instead of just focusing on the SAP product or other vendor product specifics on AI. So we believe this holistic approach will be better, right, to maximize the opportunities on the AI. And again, you don't need to upfront commitment, right? Moving to a product version to leverage the AI. So you have the data. So, and not necessarily the data will be only sitting on the SAP ERP. So probably you have other systems that can bring the data that will be required for your AI or your algorithms, right? Using the AI capabilities, right? So you maybe need to merge data from your e-commerce, from your manufacturing. So that's I think is the way that you should go. Our center of excellence is being prepared for helping the clients identify the opportunities, identify the right technologies, and eventually helping the clients in the implementation for those projects.
So, Luiz, I'm also thinking, what happens if a company does actually want to upgrade to SAP's cloud solution and go through that upgrade process, but they still want to have choice, which obviously Rimini Street delivers. So, what is the solution that you offer when somebody chooses to upgrade but still wants to work with you?
Well, Alex, we believe that the client should be in the control of their business roadmap, right? So we as I said, we try to be agnostic on that. If the client has been decided to move it to S4HANA or to S4HANA Cloud in the RISE program, we can help them in their journey. So, by the way, we have implemented S4HANA Cloud on RISE for some of our clients. We also can help on that. We also have the managed services as part of our Rimini One portfolio, so we can manage the clients. Because when you have a cloud product, right, like SuccessFactors or Ariba or Salesforce, and it's the same thing if you move it to S4HANA, you don't need to break fix the product because the vendor will do that. But you still have a lot of configuration, right? A lot of customizations that you can handle, and that's where we can help in the managed service side, in the implementation and consulting side.
Now, every organization is clearly different, but in general, what cost savings does Rimini Street offer to SAP customers?
Well, in average, our clients save around 75% on total support costs, right? So typically we charge about 50% of what client pays for the vendor. But remember, we also provide support for customizations, right, at no extra charge. So clients can reduce costs from or managed service provider or internal teams that are providing support to those customizations. So if they move it to Rimini Street, we can handle that, right? In addition, when clients move it to Rimini Street, they can avoid unnecessary upgrades. So you don't need to always be investing on upgrades just because the product will not be supporting that version anymore. So this is another area where the clients can save to us. So we help our clients to optimize the cost of their current SAP systems, and that we contribute to the profitability, right? But even more important, those savings, right, on budget, time, and resource, most of our clients can reallocate on strategic projects, like AI, for example, right? And those are the projects that will help the companies enabling the growth. So we work on the optimization side, but we also help the client shifting these resources and budgets to the growth side.
Yeah, and one example I can think of for both consumers and businesses is, with Windows 10 and Windows 11. The news came out earlier last week that the amount of people using Windows 10 has gone up. And not as many people are moving to Windows 11 as Microsoft wants. And so, I mean, this is, it's a thing that affects everybody. You don't always want to move to the newest version just because a vendor wants you to move there.
Yeah, you were talking about Microsoft, right? So we have a demand, right? Specifically in certain countries, the clients coming to us asking to provide support to the Microsoft Exchange because Microsoft will not support this anymore, and they have this installed and working well. They just don't want to upgrade their Exchange, right? So probably new opportunities will come like that.
And speaking of customers, can you please tell us of some of the customers that Rimini Street is supporting globally and in Australia that serve as great case studies?
Well, of course. So we have supported almost 1,000 clients globally, right? Which include great companies in Australia. In financial services, we have big clients in the oil and gas, manufacturing, mining, retail. Some good examples are, for example, Atco Gas is being our client. So Golden Contractors is another client that is running ECC, and they're very happy. They don't want to change, right? Super Retail Group, right? Another one is Office Works. They run more than 160 stores nationwide. They decided to move the support for the SAP ERP and CRM applications back in 2018 to reduce costs, maximize investments. So, and they don't need to be forced, right, to upgrade the versions as SAP is announcing this end of support date. So they are free to keep running what they have. So these are some examples, right? We have more than 100 clients here in Australia.
Yeah, I do remember many years ago going into an Officeworks and seeing that they had a DOS-based application running inside of, presumably what was Windows. And so that took a long time to migrate. And clearly they're doing the same thing because in Australia, if we say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, that's the point, because sometimes clients prefer to invest, right, instead of upgrade the system, to invest in front office solutions, in e-commerce solutions. So not necessarily, right? So upgrading ERP will bring benefits to the business, right?
So what else do we need to know about the proposed forced migration from SAP and the frustration and concerns this brings, and more specifically about how Rimini Street can help?
Well, we understand, right? Some companies believe the future of innovation is in the cloud, right? But again, this doesn't apply for all companies. Some companies are not ready yet to move their core, highly customized ERP systems to the cloud, right? So they need more time to prepare for an ERP re-implementation or re-platform in the future. So Rimini Street is playing a strategic role, providing alternative bets for those clients, first, that need more time to assess their cloud journey, right? So for Rimini Street clients, as I said before, the end of support dates are totally irrelevant because we can support them for more 15 years or more if they need. We also help companies that have decided to adopt what we call the composable ERP approach. So these are companies that are opting to keep the core ERP stable and accelerate innovation around the ERP edge, right? So they are leveraging SAP data and non-SAP data to build this innovation platform in the cloud. So they call this idea of the composable ERP strategy. So I can mention, for example, one large logistics client in Sweden, Green Cargo. So they are a good example of client that are shifting the savings from the ERP optimization to invest in a composable architecture, and they are delivering innovation much faster, right? Without having to stop to do major upgrades. So that's a very interesting case for us.
And for any customers that are facing the SAP dilemma that you've shared and are not sure what to do, what are the 2 or 3 questions that they should be asking themselves?
Well, first one, we need to remind, right? The end of support date is a problem created by the vendors, right? So normally, right, they want to force clients keep buying new products and version, right?
Yeah.
But the software will not stop to work or they will break just at the end of support, right? Remember, SAP already changed some of these dates already, right? So if you are considering a big software migration just because of the end of the support date, you should consider alternatives like Rimini Street, right? So number two, those major ERP migration, they could cost a lot, not only in money, but also they could bring risk to your operation, right? So if you are planning for that, make sure you have a clear business case and a positive ROI. Don't do just because the vendor is saying you need to do, right? And three, move your core ERP to S/4HANA Cloud on RISE under a subscription mode is a huge change, not only in the version of the product, but also in the relationship with the vendor, right? So some clients believe this kind of subscription contracts are could lock in you for in that vendor. You could lose control of your TCO because you have the vendor managing everything for you, right? So how can you control the costs? And also you could lose some flexibility because again, not everything, right, will come from a single vendor, right? So if you were betting everything on a single contract and a single model, maybe it's not good for every company. It depends of your specific situation.
Well, you've been traveling to different countries, including this week in Australia and next week in New Zealand. So, what brings you to Australia, and how do you see the rest of this year unfolding for Rimini Street and your support for SAP, through to the end of the decade?
Well, we are discussing with many clients across different regions. I've been traveling a lot, right, to Europe, to Latin America, North America. Now I'm spending 2 weeks here in NZ region. But the idea is to discuss with the clients first what they are planning to do with this dilemma, right, of SAP pressuring about the end of support dates, about this RISE subscription offering. So how they are going to react to that. So, and we are positioning Rimini Street as an alternative for that. So you can consider different paths. So this is my main objective here in the region. Listen from clients what they are planning to do, and also sharing, right, some other stories that they can compare, they can understand what are other options.
And as we get towards the end of the interview, I always like to ask, can you please share a memory of your first personal computer?
Oh, sure, sure. I remember it very well. It was 1983, right? My father gave me as a birthday present at 13 years old, a Sinclair Spectrum ZX instead of a Atari. So I started the programming in BASIC at that time. So that was very fun, right? Starting my journey in the computers
Yeah.
at 13 with this type of a computer from that time.
Yeah, for many people, it's like Commodore 64 or VIC 20 or the Ataris. My first computer was in 1979 when I was 4.5 years old. Dad bought a computer called an Exidy Sorcerer using a Z80 chip, running BASIC. So, and we were
Yeah,
also
basic.
typing things in from, typing in games and learning BASIC, and the tapes would
The
take forever.
problem you needed to record in a tape
Yeah,
cassette, right? So to not lose all your programming, right?
that's right. Yeah, kids today don't
Great.
understand how easy they have it compared to the way it was for us way back then. And my second last question is to ask if you could please share some of the best advice you've received in life to help you get where you are today.
Okay, could be a phrase, right?
Yeah,
So I
go
like
for
a
it.
phrase from the American writer Mark Twain, right? Which says, "They did not know that was impossible, so they did it."
Yeah, I've heard something similar where people say, the people that are telling you it can't be done should get out of the way of the people who are doing it.
That's it. Well, I like a lot because sometimes people say, okay, this is impossible. How you did that? Oh, I didn't know that was impossible.
Exactly. So what is your final message to the viewers and the readers?
Okay, so most of the software vendors like SAP and Oracle, right? So, and some of the system integrators, which is also interested, right, in those type of projects, they will want to, they want to make you believe that there are no alternatives to the SAP roadmaps, right? Other than go to S/4HANA Cloud and RISE. So sometimes they threaten the clients with end of support dates, raising license costs, or saying that you'll be left behind on innovation, you're not getting access to the AI. So, but in reality, there are options, right? And knowing your options, right, will make you take better decisions. So that's what we are doing. We are helping clients on offering alternative paths to avoid that rush, right? Make better decisions. And of course, always aligning the business strategic priorities, right, at the right time.
Well, as they say, knowledge is power, right?
Of course. Yes.
Well, Luiz Mariotto, Rimini Street's Global Vice President for SAP Support, thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best of success in Australia
really
and New
enjoyed
Zealand. And I do hope we can speak again in the future.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.